Diego. If you folks are listening out there locally right now, we've got a wonderful show lined up for you tonight, episode 44. This week, really, we're going to go into creating a company culture to really impress your brand and message. It's very important on the world because, you know, I'm just going to dive right into it, real folks. 50, 75, 100 years ago, you know, everything was very much local. We were trying to attack whatever was in our town. Now, obviously, with the evolution of the internet and how important of a tool and really what a weapon that it is, if you're able throughout the internet to capture your audience and to exploit your business, whether that be a product or service, to the entire world. So again, this week we're going to talk about creating that company culture, really to impress that brand and message onto the world. Leadership does start from the bottom of the organization and continues throughout every chain of command to the top. Consistent, focused action creates the ideal environment to bring your goals to fruition. With every failure comes progress, and I can't agree with that more. That's just a little subscript of what we wrote tonight on our real summary of our show this evening. Of course, you know I'm Aaron, and you know my confidant, my comrade, my partner in crime, my brother from another mother, ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Pravin. So, Jordan, you are live on the air, sir. How you doing tonight?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm doing good. Good. How's everybody doing?
Man, we out here living. We are out here living. We are on our
Definitely.
leadership. We're on our goal setting. We're branding. We're on our entrepreneurship. We're on our finances and personal growth. A couple weeks back, folks, we've really been stressing the last few weeks how important, again, the internet is for your business. If you don't have anything online where you're making your advertisement on your company, if you're not going viral, you're a dinosaur. Okay, you're a dinosaur. And there are ways now. The market is shifting in such a way where the trends are becoming so much more viral to get things across. People don't need to go pay a company to get them at the top of their Google list. You know, as we talked about a couple of weeks back and last week, both last week's episode and 2 weeks ago, we spoke about SEO, which is search engine optimization. We spoke about SEM, which is search engine marketing, which has to do with paid search. So a little recap of last week's show. I really need to hand this home to you guys because it's very important. They're very simple, fundamental fundamentals. I don't know really what else to say. SEM is a paid search that you can do through Google AdWords. You buy a word, you set a daily budget. Google will put you at the top of that list for as long as however long you're going to spend that money. And then, you know, as soon as your budget elapses, then you would come off. But there's something called SEO, which is organic paid reach, which is done through multiple factors that we spoke about. But you know, I guess really we're just going to keep on going with it, folks. As far as what's really going to, how you're ultimately going to drive your business. Jordan, did you want to touch on before I say my piece at all? Did you want to go ahead and take this really quick before I dive in?
Yeah.
Do you have any
sure.
words to say? Please, by all means. And I'll piggyback
definitely.
off of you.
Sure. So, you know, to kind of build on what you were saying, Aaron, as far as how important it really is to have a company culture which inspires everybody from the bottom to the top. I mean, I believe for the most part, what we've covered is kind of a top-down approach in leadership and management. But one thing that, you know, sometimes we fail to really address is the leadership from the bottom to the top, because those who are on the ground, so to say, in hand-to-hand combat every single day, interacting with from the B to C, those, you know, interacting from the business to the customer, that person right there who's on the ground floor has to be inspired. The culture that they have inside of them, kind of the message that they're bringing out, is is essentially the message from the top. So whenever in any company, for example, in Walmart, Sam Walton, who created Walmart, had a vision and a culture for Walmart, which, as everybody knows, has changed so much since uh, since Sam Walton's passing, and it really takes that consistent effort and consistent action to implement a culture where everybody is actually happy and inspired to come to work, where anytime there's resentment in the workplace, no matter who it is, it's going to come through and it's going to show, whether that be that an individual feels that they don't have the leadership, they're not getting the leadership and the direction that they feel they should be receiving, which is important and understandable as to a subordinate, quote unquote, so to speak, looking towards a leader, someone who's in a higher position on the corporate ladder, and failing to receive that direction can leave an individual feeling resentment, feeling unmotivated. And the problem with that is that the ripple effect takes place in the marketplace. Now you have someone working for your organization who's not happy, who doesn't feel motivated to get out there, who doesn't feel inspired to get out there and spread the word. Because in reality, that's really what it is, right? Every company essentially is doing the same or similar thing. For example, this week actually I was working with a payroll company for one of the businesses that I'm involved in, and that company is ADP, Automatic Data Processing. Now, ADP is not the only company who does payroll, but I even had the opportunity to visit their office today, actually. And to be honest, I was a little taken aback by the company culture in ADP. I mean, I've spent a considerable amount of time with a couple of ADP representatives this week who actually viewed everything that they are doing and involved in as their business. And ADP just backs them up. So it came across and it really hit hard to see how, I don't know what ADP does because I don't work for them, but I don't know how they treat their employees or their staff members, but they're doing something right, because the individuals that I met and kind of spoke with take ownership for all their clients as if they were their own. And that's one of the most difficult things to find in any company. And anybody who's of course, most of the people listening are building businesses, and everybody can attest to the fact that it's difficult to have people on your team who are actually motivated to get out there and get it and carry themselves as if it were their own company. So the basically what that all stems from is company culture. And I truly believe that if ADP from the top did not set a culture of basically independence, growth, ownership, and not ownership in terms of equity, but ownership in terms of the freedom to get out into the marketplace and represent the brand, represent the company, and really bring value to the marketplace, in turn bringing value back to the company long term. But just to, I don't want to go too off on that, but yeah, Aaron, that was just my piece to build on what you were saying.
Absolutely. Just to piggyback off what you said, folks, time now is 9:42. We're talking ADP right now. And for those who don't know, ADP is Automatic Data Processing. They're a limited liability corporation. Basically, they're an American provider of human resources management, software, and services. So they were founded in 1949 by Henry Taub, who actually is still around, if I'm not mistaken. Looking at here, I'm looking on their website. But they started as a manual payroll processing and soon became automatic. So I don't know if history has shown, I don't know if they were called MDP before, but now they're ADP, again, automatic data processing. And they were formerly one of the 4 American companies to actually get a AAA credit rating from the rating agencies of Standard and Poor's and Moody's. So they do everything. What they do, they outsource human resource capital. So anything from payroll, anything to benefits, anything to anything that really has to do with HCM, which is a human capital management. If you're a small company or you're a big company and you just don't have the time or you don't really have the time or the personnel internally at your company to take care of these HCM initiatives, you outsource this to a company like ADP, like Paychex. Those are the big giants that are really in what's called the HCM, again, the human capital management industry. And ADP, I think, is a lot bigger than Paychex. I'm sure you guys are familiar. 2012, I show here they had a $10.7 billion annual revenue. They had an operating income of $2.1 billion. So, net income has $1.4 billion. Anything, if you're netting over $1 billion, folks, I think you're doing well. They have over 60,000 employees, and I think now, actually, they do international. So they're in different countries as well. I think they started as a North America. They started as an American provider. They moved to Canada. They moved to Mexico, and are now internationally known. Just a little backdrop on ADP, but I guess right now Carlos Rodriguez, both president and CEO, and they were founded out in Paterson, New Jersey. Funny story about ADP, since we're talking about it. Years ago, I actually applied for ADP. Yes, years ago, I actually applied, and I didn't get the job. But it opened the door for actually other avenues that were wonderful for me. So, not to get on another tangent, but everything happens for a reason.
It's all good.
all in all, a great company. All in all, a great company. And yeah, Jordan, I didn't know if you had anything more on ADP that you wanted to touch on.
No. That was about it. But yeah, that was just kind of a case study, so to speak, of kind of the Tonight Show.
Sure. And you guys, do call in. It's just me and Jordan, and it's always us every Thursday evening. And again, thank you guys for joining in. It is 8:45 already, 8:45, Pacific Coast time. We did run into we just moved up the show a little bit. We did a 9:30 to 10 o'clock spot tonight. Hope you guys are digging it, feeling it. Do give us a call in. Same guest call in number 773-897-6349. You are listening live to the Chelladurai Inc. show. We're talking about company culture this week, folks. We're talking about company culture, and again, we're talking about how to impress your brand and message on the world. And going back to search engine optimization, as it is so very important. And I hope really all you business owners, whether you're a sole prop, whether you're an LLC, whether you're an S corp, whether you're this, whether you're that, you gotta get back online. You gotta build your viral online presence. It's very, very important. And internet is very is said to be intangible, but you gotta build your business online so big that intangible actually becomes tangible. That your company has so much self-awareness online, and other people are aware of your company, that you can actually taste it, smell it, feel it. It's gotta be something whole, like it's there. And ultimately, again, going back to 50 to 100 years back, we were all in the wild west days. We were just interested in having a couple dozen people come into our store. Now with the market the way it is with the internet, we are now able to buy and sell goods worldwide. I mean, worldwide. I could pick up my computer right now, jump on Amazon, and buy something that's probably out in Fiji, Australia, Hong Kong, Tibet, Bangladesh. We have 7 billion people on the planet now. Over 7 billion. Again, I think I said this fact earlier. 2 billion people, 2 billion out of the 7 billion either own or have access to the internet. I mean, that is huge. I mean, people are our best resource. People are our best resource for many, many, many different reasons. But it takes people to purchase these products. It takes people, it takes companies, institutions. They're all made up of people, folks. They're all made up of people. We're all people here, okay? Soon we're going to be able to get fish to buy stuff from us, and that'll be the day. But right now, people are our best resource. And in order to captivate everybody from a worldwide perspective, as you know, I know I'm really hammering this point in right now, but it is so crucial to be able to set up shop on the internet, make a very user-friendly website where people can come to your website, build that traffic, and buy and sell goods on your website. Now, going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but on the same topic at the same time, I want to introduce a new concept that has been actually going on for years, but now is getting more and more prevalent. And the terminology, folks, is actually called affiliate marketing. And Jordan can actually introduce this a little better. But Jordan, can you explain? And we're kind of deviating away. If you're a company and you have a product or service, great. But aren't there ways, Jordan, to accumulate wealth by actually not having your own product or service per se, and actually be what's called a affiliate marketer? You want to tell our audience a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah. And definitely that's something, like Aaron said, the world is changing with 7 billion people on the planet. And what is it, Aaron? Something like at least 1.5 billion have access to the internet. And it's extremely interesting as far as we can even look at one of our past guests who we've had on the show. Now, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting her name. But basically what she had was...
Sorry, was it Lucy Hooger?
Not Lucy, the younger girl. She was from the Bay Area. I think it was Diane.
Was it Kat from Simply One Love?
No, not Cat Williams. God, I'm forgetting her name completely. Really nice girl, though. It was a while back, probably a few months back. But she was doing a lot of Instagram marketing. Do you remember that one? She was doing a lot of Instagram stuff.
Not either, right? Sorry, folks. We got a lot of good guests on, so.
Yeah, but anyways, she was. Yeah, she was basically marketing for a bunch of different companies on Instagram. And the crazy thing is, she's paying for none of the products, but what she does is she just promotes them or markets them. In turn, that could also be considered affiliate marketing. So what that's allowing the world really to do is it's allowing individuals to really build a business based on their passion. So even if their passion is strictly Siamese kittens and they blog about it every single day, they can attract those specific individuals across the globe who are into the same subject and then serve them products similar, on the same topic from other retailers, from real retailers like Amazon or eBay. And it's something, it's a very inventive way of selling product as well, to have people who in essence have customers, a customer fan base, come to their website or virtual reality retail store is kind of how you can look at it. It's virtual real estate in essence, and basically give them what they want, for lack of better words. Like that's the reality of it. And yeah, affiliate marketing, it's been around, like Aaron said, for several years now. But to be honest, the magnitude and the potential of it has just barely begun to get beyond the surface level. I think in the United States right now, less than 10% of all commerce is conducted online, and by the year 2020, we're going to see a considerable. Sorry, I don't have the exact number in front of me, but we're going to see a considerable spike in that. So, so if this is something, I know we've been talking about it, so you guys know we find it interesting, myself and Aaron. But if that is something that you're interested in, now is the time to get into it. Now is definitely the time to get into it. And the biggest fear, kind of the biggest apprehension that people have when approaching anything of this nature is that, hey, I'm not a technical person. I don't know how to build a website. I don't know all this stuff. I might be 40 years old. I might be 50 years old, and I just barely started emailing people, and I use Facebook, and that's fine because anybody can learn it. It's extremely easy to pick up with effort, and that goes back to kind of the message that we kind of share every week, that we hope most of our viewers, I mean all of our audience really, we hope practice this as well. And sometimes it takes a reminder for myself and Aaron as well to practice this, and that is to do something that makes you uncomfortable every single day, once a week, or every other day, but do something that makes you uncomfortable every single day. And the funny thing is, we're all at different levels. So for one person, something that makes them uncomfortable might be going around the block for a walk, and for another person, really pushing past their fears and kind of what they think is possible, may be jumping out of an airplane and going skydiving. There's a wide range of that. And just, sorry to kind of go off topic, but just to throw something random in to kind of further bend reality and what you thought was possible. Everybody already knows we use a very small percentage of our brain actually in our daily lives. That I saw a kid on YouTube, 13-year-old kid, who speaks 20 languages, 20 languages. He's 13 years old. You guys have to YouTube this. I don't advocate a whole lot of time for distractions on YouTube, but when it's something that's extremely inspiring and mind blowing like that, I mean, the kid now I think is 17 years old, and his name is Tim Donner, Doner, speaks 20 languages. This is embarrassing for me to even say because I'm Indian and I don't even speak my mother tongue. So, it's just kind of eye-opening to see what is possible, and kind of, it's never too late. That's the most important thing. It's never too late. This kid is from the States, and I mean, he's speaking languages from India, and he's speaking Mandarin. And, for those of you in the States, Spanish comes in handy. I'm going to be honest. I was on a cold call this week, and the gentleman who picked up the phone he was a targeted customer. So I know he fit the description for the product that I was selling at that time. And he only spoke Spanish. Luckily, I kind of stumbled through that conversation, but it would have been so much, the pitch would have gone so much smoother if I had actually spoken Spanish. So that translates to everybody across the board. Jim Ron, I believe, said that he had a friend who spoke 3 languages, and the prior year he made $3 million involved in some type of international business. He said, "Hey, I'm going to learn a 4th language, and next year I'm going to make $4 million." And this stuff might sound like it's just theory or whatnot, but if you think it's theory, then put it into practice and prove us wrong. That's just something to think about. And I don't even know how we ended up on this, Aaron. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that.
Yeah, no, really. It's funny. I knew a lady I went to school with years ago, and she spoke 7 languages, and she was, in her mid-30s at that point. So I'm blown away. I'm really interested to actually check out this YouTube video that you talked about. This guy, Tim Bruner, 13 years old. I guess now you said he's 17, 20 languages.
17.
I mean, when you think about that, folks, I'm really trying to just really wrap my head around just that amount of knowledge. I mean, that just gives you a little bit of how big the brain actually is. And again, this could be another subject for another episode, but I mean, I'm really starting to think that the brain can store infinite amount of knowledge. I mean, 20 languages? How much data is that? And the guy probably knows so much other things on top of 20 languages, Like, I'm really starting to think that the knowledge is not finite. Or maybe I never thought that, but I'm truly, when you said that, Jordan, I'm blown away. I mean, the English language alone is a very difficult language to learn if you're not an English speaker. And it's huge. It's got a bunch of different words. We have 26 letters in our alphabet. And I'm blown away. I'm just blown away that 20 languages can actually be stored. That information is somewhere stored inside of our head. I mean, unbelievable. Anyway, time now is 10 o'clock, folks. Doing a little later show than the norm this evening. I really hope that you enjoyed our 30 minutes tonight. Jordan and I have definitely been on the internet, the viral savviness. Really, if you're this goes for everybody, you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, this goes for everybody. Whether you are an up-and-comer, whether you're just studying how to make your own business and build your website, to, people that are, tenured in the game, that have been at it 10, 20, 30 years. I mean, you can never, ever, ever learn too much. And Jordan and I are really here for everybody. I mean, we're here for ourselves. We're here to better ourselves. We're here to better you guys. And we're here to better the world and the world of business. We wish you guys the absolute very best. That's why we do these shows every week. 44 episodes in, Jordan. 44 episodes in, and we will have a very 50th anniversary. That will be that'll be wonderful. You guys do tune in. But that's pretty much all the time that we have for tonight, folks. I really hope that you guys took some good notes, are recording this, or play this back, because I mean, this is cutthroat knowledge that you guys are going to need to know. And hopefully that you guys do know, and hopefully this is just reiterating what's already known. But we will have a special guest next week. We do have, we've kind of deviated off of the music a little bit, but I think it's very important that we really kind of focus on business. I mean, we are musicians. And we kind of concentrate on our certain points every so often. Right now we're on our business, but we do have a very special guest next week that I will hold off on introducing. But he just dropped his new project, his new album, and we will get to that. But for right now, folks, we're going to bid you guys adieu. It is 10 p.m., 10:01, 1 minute after, and 1 a.m. back east. You guys keep on hustling. Good things come to those who hustle. Believe me, it's true. It's very true. I have a big old poster on it. It's a decal that sits on my bathroom mirror, or right next to my bathroom mirror, rather. My partner Jordan has the same one sitting on his. Very important. Get that. Go find it. VinylDecals.com, whatever it was. We're going to see you guys next week. I'm Aaron. He's Jordan. You guys stay hustling, stay grinding, and stay humble and lead. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.